Hi everyone, Delicia here from Deli the Explorer with my amiga.
Hi, Pinky from Bon Dia con Pinky, and together we are
Bougie Tias! Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bougie Tias podcast YouTube video channel. If you're watching online or if you're listening on the podcast where podcasts are streamed. We're gonna cheers with our cafecito. Cheers. Some little iced coffee to get us through the day.
Yes, I'm in Miami. I came to visit Delicia.
We're in Miami. Hey. I do want to start it off with this quote. Whatever you decide to do in life, make sure it makes you happy. And you get to define your happiness, which is the consensus in life. So, and I think that has to do a lot with our topic for today, which is how do we define health and fitness, health and wellness, all encompassing. And it's piggybacking off of Pinky's personal video that she shared on her personal page. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It'll give some context for the conversation. And also, we're going to link it below wherever you can see the links. It's a 3-minute video, so it's not too lengthy to get caught up with the context. But it's really about how do we define health and wellness for ourselves. And it's a journey. We know it's a journey. It's going to take some time. We're still on our own journey to define what that is for us. But we wanted to share what we've learned along our 20s because homegirl is 30.
Only you, not me. I still got like 6 months.
I'm 30. So once you hit 30, you're like, oh, I'm a bougie tia. So I need to figure out.
Wait, so I'm not a bougie tia yet?
You are, but like more tia. You're a bougie tia if you're not 30. This is not what I mean. But what I mean is you step into like I don't know. For me, this might not be the case for you. Like I said in the beginning, you get to define what it is for you. This podcast is for entertainment, educational purposes. You take what you want and leave the rest. Take it with a grain of salt. We're not medical providers. We're not psychiatrists. We're not therapists. We're not lawyers. We are literally sharing our lived experiences with you. You take what you want and leave the rest. And if it doesn't resonate with you, just don't take it with you on your life journey, basically, right?
Yep.
So for me as Delicia, as Deli the Explorer, when I hit 30, and maybe because I was moving from Pennsylvania to Florida and moving from New Jersey where we grew up, right? Mm-hmm. My 30 years of my life. Even though I lived abroad for a couple of those years, my home was always New Jersey, the Northeast, and then Pennsylvania the last 6 years. Mm-hmm. So I guess it had to do also with the move to Florida. But like something shifted for me when I turned 30. It's like you're just ready to step into your most authentic self, like unapologetically, I think what it is. I think as Deli the Explorer, I have always been that, but even to another level. I don't know. What do you think?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has their own journey, and you figured like your own journey when you moved and you started realizing your own wellness and health and how your body's reacting.
Yeah, and right? I think moving to Florida was part of like my own mental health journey and like my own what makes Delicia happy. Like we said in the beginning, you get to decide what makes you happy. So shout out to New Jersey. I love you forever. Best bagels. But I really needed the beach in my life.
Yeah.
I really needed the sun. Like, I don't think you realize how much you miss that when you, like, don't have it.
No, it's true, because I obviously don't get it all the time, still living in New Jersey, but obviously it's so convenient. Like, in Jersey, it's so cold. Like,
yes.
Honestly, like, after the pandemic, I was okay with the cold, but now, like, I feel like my body's, like, reacting to, like, I'm too sensitive to the cold.
Yeah.
Rather than like before, I was like, oh, I don't care. Like, I don't care wearing all these jackets and like I'm cool. I mean, walk around the city, like trying to go out clubbing. Oh my god, like 20-degree weather, and we were not wearing jackets, and we were okay with that. Yeah. But now it's like I struggle with the cold, man. Like,
and I think the pandemic really, or the panini, whatever you want to call it, really put us in the house for a year. Like, we were in quarantine. So we had to redefine what wellness is, what health is. Like, we were in our houses with our bodies and our, like, mental health part of that.
Right.
Like, I think it affected a lot of people that you can see on social media, or people who talked about their journey of, like, they couldn't go to the gym, they couldn't do things that they normally did. And for me, I was kind of used to it because I was already in quarantine, because in 2018, not 2016, I was at home taking care of my mom because she had an accident, taking care of her. So I really couldn't go out to the gym. I could, but it was also cold, so I chose not to. But I would walk around and, like, try to walk around the block and try to do yoga in the house or Zumba video things in the house. So I was kind of used to being in quarantine, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. Like, you were in quarantine before we hit quarantine.
Yeah. That's how it felt like.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I know how to do this. I know how to be at home.
Right. Yeah. Like, to me, I've always struggled with body image and health.
Yeah.
And wellness, because at such a young age, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see the video. I explain, like, I was always on the bigger side, and family and friends would always be like, oh, you're the bigger one, you need to lose weight, you need to work out, all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And, like, we were always the ugly one of the group, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. In our family and our friends, and that affects you.
Oh,
people don't realize it. And I was young. I was very young when this all happened, and I come from, like, a heavier set family. Like, we're built so different. We're thick.
Yeah.
We're not petite. Like, some of us are, but me and my middle sister, we're not.
Yeah.
And we love to eat. We didn't come from a family that was so disciplined on, like, food, wellness, nutrition, right? It was always, like, Coca-Colas and fried stuff, and because that's how we grew up, and that's how my parents grew up. Mm-hmm. So growing up, I just hated my body all the time. I didn't like the way it looked. I would get angry because I was like, why was I built like this? Like, everyone I know is so skinny, they're so pretty, and this and that. Like, I'm over here, I'm so fat, and it affected me a lot. Like, there's times, like, you know, I just want to be anorexic, stop eating, or binge eat, want to throw up because I just so over it. And then I think about 10 years ago, that's when I started my health journey, like, started losing weight and stuff. So I would go through ups and downs, like a roller coaster, right? Like, I'll be fine, I'll lose weight, and then all of a sudden my body will fluctuate, so I'm stressed, and I'll gain weight, and I'm like, oh crap, like, I'm back to where I am. Or it was like a mental health, like, it was just mind fucking me, right?
Yeah.
You go into the mirror, like, choosing, like, the roles that you see, and this
you start nitpicking your body.
Yes, and it's like, why are we so harsh on our bodies? Like, this is like what we have. This is like our typical.
This body literally moves us through the world. If you're an able-bodied person, you, like, literally walk in this body throughout your life. Right. Or even if you're not, like, you have, hopefully, if you're not able-bodied, you have mobility that supports you, but it's literally you have food that you put in your mouth, that nutrients to your body to physically move, right?
And then the pandemic hit, and I was a gym freak. Like, I would literally live at the gym, either doing Zumba, lifting weights, cardio. I did Orange Theory for a while, so I lived at the gym if I wasn't working. Mm-hmm. So that affected me a lot, to be honest. Like, once the gym shut down, like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, what the? I tried, like, doing all these apps. It was just so different because, you know, it's like, your lifestyle changes.
Everyone's lifestyle changed during the panini, right?
So you just have to adapt. And, like, I started eating more because we were we're at home, we can't do anything, you're stressed out, but, like, you're trying to work out, but at the same time, like,
there's comfort food everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, we're like, what else can we do?
Yeah.
And then that's when I realized, like, wow, I really have an issue. Like, I already had the issue growing up.
You were aware?
I was aware, but, like...
But more aware.
Like, it was, like, bad. I still remember, like, just, like, being angry, like, waking up, like, I hate this fucking body. Like, what the hell? Like, and I would just be, like, nitpicking everything. And honestly, who saved me, and I'm going to give her a shout out.
A shout out.
Who saved me through the pandemic was my mentor, my role model. She's amazing. Her name is Ailey, and she had a program called Healthness. And we will link it so you guys can look at it, what it was. So it was like a 3-month program, and she helps you with the mindset and how to be healthy with yourself. Like she would coach you. There was daily activities that you had to do through an app.
Yeah.
And she would be there for you.
Like accountability and stuff.
Yeah, and like we would have Zoom calls, and she would. I literally learned so much about food and like my mental state through her. Like people think I'm crazy, like, oh, like gluten-free, dairy-free, but honestly, that's not really good for you.
No.
You know, like, yes, can we eat it once in a while? Fine.
Of course. Yeah.
But like you also need to treat. It's not about you're fat or you're skinny. It's
Right.
about are you healthy?
Are you healthy? Yeah.
You know?
And if you're eating foods that give you energy versus depreciate your energy, what's the word? I don't know the word I'm trying to say, but like if it gives you energy, if it doesn't give you energy, like an energy sucking food, right?
Yeah.
Like gluten is really it's not made for your body to consume so much about, and you learn that through her program. I learned that through my mom, who really is into like, for my dad too, like health wise, for like gluten free and paleo friendly or keto friendly. Sugar free, because you know we need some sugar free foods. I don't really like sweets, so for me that's not really an issue. But gluten, bread is such a big part of like Portuguese culture, Latino culture, Paraguayan culture. Like every morning you eat coquito or like bread and butter, right? And how that like you learn that
with your coffee,
that it becomes a glue in your system, right? Through Dr. Gandhi. That's who my mom really like learned from when she first heard about it, but now it's like everywhere.
Yeah, now it's.
But she learned about it in 2016, 2017.
Right. Before
The panini hit. But this idea of like connecting beauty with skinny, this false idea, it's a false narrative. And if you don't know me, my friends, if you just found out who I am, my background's in academia, and I study systems of oppression and systems of like intersections of identity is like my area of study. So I'm always going to bring it back to like a little nerdy part for you guys, and if you want to read something about it, because that's the lens through which I operate in the world, right? That's how I exist, and that's how I understand. But this idea of skinny equals beauty is a false narrative that's rooted in white supremacy ideology. And I can link about books and courses that I've taken that really have taught me more about that, also in academia in college. But that's a false idea. It's literally false. It's rooted and created in oppressive ideology to like for people to like hate themselves through that. So then what happens? They're numbed to their reality, and it separates them from their body, right? And that's how the oppressor continues to oppress you, because you're separated from your body. And health and wellness that we're learning through our own journey is like reconnecting to your body, and it's part of decolonial work. Right. What is decolonial work? Just one term, my friends, for today is really decolonizing your mind, right? Because we all have been colonized one way or another. So really looking at that, like who started that ideology, right? And we're not going to get into the history of it, but I can link it if you want to learn more. But this really simple idea of equating beauty with fatness. And, or skinniness, right? And like fat phobia is a thing. A really good book if you want to learn more is The Body That Keeps the Score, and also what was the other book? I want to look it up while Pinky talks about her mentor.
And I'm sure like a lot of people have struggled with this, especially being bullied or like being so hard on yourself. And she taught me like one thing that helped me a lot was she taught me that I am enough, I'm beautiful. And I got like a red lipstick or like a red like washable marker, and in the mirror I put I am enough, I am beautiful. So every morning, even though I wouldn't believe it, I would still tell it to myself, because the mind is so insane that even though your mindset shift. The mindset, like when you're saying, oh, I'm so fat, oh, I'm so ugly.
And that's internalized fat phobia.
Right. And then like, if you're going to say, wow, I'm beautiful, yeah, you might not believe it today, tomorrow, but guess what? Your mind...
You're reprogramming your mind. Yes. You're retraining your brain.
Exactly. Yeah. It's going to start, you know...
Yeah. You're going to start to believe it.
Right. And then, like, so she helped me a lot. I love her. And if you guys, like, are struggling and want to learn more about her program, it's called Healthness. I'll link it. She has an Instagram page, Eileen. She's also a Strong Master trainer.
Strong is cool.
Yeah, Strong. She does Zumba. She does a bunch of stuff. She has amazing virtual classes. online, which I use.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, like it's like a whole package program. I used to do her virtual classes. I used to like be dead by the end of it. Like I was so sore. Like it's insane. Like she teaches you how to move.
Yeah, and that's part of wellness is movement.
Movement, yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like Pinky who loves Zumba and Strong and like Orange Theory and stuff like that. You're not crazy, which we have to unpack that too, because crazy is an easy term that they give people who like just we're gonna talk about that too. Stay tuned, because it's telling someone they're crazy is a cop out, and also rooted in like not being aware of mental health issues, right? Calling someone crazy.
Right.
But the book I was talking about before is The Body Is Not an Apology by Sonia Renee Taylor. I'll link her information in the description link stuff too. But your body is not an apology, right? You shouldn't have to apologize. This is the essence of the book, right? Is you shouldn't have to apologize for the body that you were given through whatever your religious belief is, whatever spiritual belief you have, God, the universe, Buddha, your parents, like whatever that is for you, you get to decide that too. Everything in life. But let's say you believe in God, right? So God gives you this body and you have to be grateful for it. And so you don't need to apologize for that. And you don't need to like change it to fit a mold and an idea that's false, right? That skinny equals beauty is false. Fact, point blank. I'll link some facts in the comments if you want to learn about it. But that's a really cool book if you like to read. If you don't like to read, I think she has an audiobook too. But that's like redefining. Oh, what I was going to say about the mindset thing is that you just gave a really good tool that's really simple to use, but can be really hard if you're struggling with a lot of like body image things. It's like writing on, and you feel stupid at the beginning. You feel kind of awkward and
I didn't want to do
or
it.
dumb or like, and that's like,
I didn't want to do it.
If you feel like you're awkward doing it, that means that there's something to unpack there, right?
Yeah.
So like, if you don't want to write on your mirror because it's gonna get dirty, like I am beautiful or I am worthy or I am enough, then you can write it on a piece of paper and put it on your laptop. Like, here's my laptop, guys. You can see, like, I have little notes here. Sometimes it's, like, work notes, but other times it's, like, affirmations throughout the day. Because we all go through things in life. No matter how put together someone looks or how they look like they're having a great time, which they probably are, but we go through things. Life is not perfect 100% of the time.
No.
But you can say, like, we have 3 that we really like for Bougie Diaz's. I'm worthy, I'm enough, I'm loved. And we can create little, like, little post things that if you guys want to share it and have it for yourself. So it might feel weird to write on the mirror at sometimes, but if you write it in your journal or your notebook or like a post-it.
She even said to like write it as a password. I mean, obviously, like,
I like that.
Like not obviously put like numbers and stuff so you don't get hacked.
Yeah.
But like you know,
be aware, friends.
Be aware, but like you know, even small little things like that.
Or like as a reminder. Right. Put a reminder every day at 3 p.m. or something. I'm loved. I'm worthy. Like you're badass.
I'm beautiful.
I'm beautiful. Like I'm amazing. And you get to be fucking amazing. And you get to be beautiful. You're not cocky if you say that. Like everyone, like that's your divine birthright. I believe.
Yeah, and I'm learning because to write that on my mirror, she actually called me and she's like, what is going on? Yeah. And I told her like my history and like I'm very open about it now. At first I was like a little weirded out because I was like, ugh.
Yeah, trigger warning, friends.
Right. So when she told me to do it, I'm like, she's like, you better do it. I'm telling you, it's gonna work. So when
it's like a mindset thing.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, like, and I would just look at it and I'm like, and I would tell myself, okay, you're beautiful, you're loved, you're enough, your body's amazing. You know, you're just like little things like that. Actually help you guys. Like you wouldn't think. It does help. And then
it's part of also regulating your nervous system. Yeah. Like this might be a new concept, but I don't think we realize how dysregulated we are sometimes. Like when we're anxious, when we're like fidgety, when we're like unfocused, like that's our nervous system dysregulated. So a simple tool is like just rub your hands with your arms and like put it on your heart and be like, I'm loved, I'm worthy, it'll be okay. Like I'm safe. Because with the message your brain is getting, also I studied psychology, so that's why I always go back to the brain. My nerdy side is coming out again. So your brain is wired for survival. So a like communication, your brain is trying to tell you you're unsafe, you need to run. It goes through the trauma responses, right? Fight, flight, fight, flight, I forget the other two, but like fight or flight response, I'll put it in the comments later, but a fight or flight response, so it's like, we got to get you to safety, you're unsafe, but it's like rewiring your brain, like, I'm safe, I'm good, I'm happy, I'm worthy, I'm loved, and immediately you're going to start to feel it. At first you'll be like, but then you're like going to get used to it.
It's a process.
It's a process.
And you have to believe in it.
Yeah. If
you don't, then like there's no point. But and it's hard.
It's hard. This is hard work to like really reclaim who you want to be and define it for yourself. Because we get so many messages about our bodies, about women's bodies. If you identify as a cisgendered woman, you get so many messages of what beauty is and what beauty is and how to be beautiful. But it's like, you know what? I'm going to reject what doesn't serve me and just define it for myself, right?
And that's what you have to be, because if we're going to go by what people think, we're never going to be happy.
You're never going to be happy.
Like, oh, that person it's not even the body. It's also the face. It's also the arms. It's like, oh, that person has green eyes. They're so beautiful.
Right.
You're like, oh, I wish I had green eyes. Oh, that person's nose is so small. Like,
I wish I had a petite nose or whatever.
Yes, like bigger eyes and this and that. It's like, it messes with you.
Yeah.
The more you tell your body, like, damn, I wish I had this and that. Like,
your body's listening to you.
Yeah.
Your body, and then it's gonna come up in illness, right? Like, it's just gonna show up, right? The stress and the way you talk to your body is gonna show up one way or another.
Yeah, and I'm still learning. I'm still struggling with this.
We are too.
It's like an everyday
struggle. It's a lifelong process.
Yeah.
Just because we're talking about it publicly here doesn't mean that we don't struggle with this.
Yeah. I mean, I can have a good day, and then all of a sudden the next day I feel like complete crap, and I'm like, I hate my body, and I catch myself doing that.
Yes, that's the thing.
I was like, wait, don't.
That's the difference. You catch yourself quicker, and you're like, okay, we got to reprogram this.
Yes, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And another lesson that I learned was I got injured.
Ooh.
I was on a high, like I was like, oh yes, I look great. I just did this. I'm amazing. Blah blah blah. Boom! I get injured. What happens? Pinky can't move like she used to.
And your identity is so connected to that.
Exactly. I'm the type of person, if I don't move, to rap. Mm-hmm. I injured my calf, which wasn't my calf. It was a whole different story. Yeah. Anyways, on crutches, couldn't drive, went on a cane, couldn't really walk. So what do I go to for comfort? Food. Mm-hmm. And then what does that cost? Weight gain.
Right, because you're not moving as much.
I'm not moving. I'm eating because I'm so stressed, because I'm pissed off. Like, I'm like, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
I'm
doing great.
Yeah. And that was a different journey than I know I gain weight now, and I feel it in my body. But also, life happens, stress happens,
yeah.
And when you have
your body changes as you get older. Hormones, especially women.
Yeah. So it's like, I do struggle still with it, but I'm slowly learning, and I want you guys to like realize that too. Like, you are gonna have your good days, you're gonna have your bad days, but it's the learning process, and it's gonna be okay. Like, you guys can get through it, and like, if you guys ever want to talk about anything, you can always DM us on Instagram, or like if you're feeling a certain way, or like if you've gone through something, let us know.
And we'll share resources that have helped us in the links. Obviously, if you feel like you have a medical condition or a medical thing, go see your doctor, go see your therapist, go see your psychiatrist.
Yeah, we're not in the medical field.
We're not in the medical field. This is just based on our own lived experience. And we can, if you don't know who to talk to, we can direct you to who we might think is a good resource. But it's ultimately your choice. And I think that's part of why we started Bougie Tias, is because we want to share what we've learned from the perspective of first generation children of immigrants, who sometimes we don't see ourselves represented in the mainstream media, right? I think now it's changing now that we're older, but when we were little and in high school, who were your role models? Lizzie McGuire, love her, love Hilary Duff, but there was no Latinas, there was no Portuguese or Indian women that we could look up to. I don't remember.
Not as many. Not in American society.
Right, in Americans, we're talking
American
from
society.
The perspective, because we live in the United States. So, All you could see was like blonde, blue eyes, skinny people, which is great. If that's your body type, do you, baby, live it out. That's just not me.
Or me.
Like,
Hello.
do you see this black hair?
Well, now I'm a little blonde.
Yeah. I mean, I did have
like,
ombre for a little bit. But if you're
I'm
listening to the podcast, we have blonde hair, brown eyes. Not if you can't see us on YouTube, but like, I'm bigger bodied. Like,
we're
I will never be that skinny person, and that's okay. Like, I get to love my body the way I am.
And another thing, it's like, you shouldn't let your body affect like your dreams and your goals, right?
Yeah.
That you should never. And I was also like that because I didn't want to take pictures, and you know, like, oh, this is gonna look bad on Instagram or Facebook or MySpace at the time.
MySpace, you guys remember MySpace?
So
we're so older millennials over here.
Or even like do video, like stupid videos sometimes. I'm like, ugh, like I look so horrible. Ugh, this and that. But I'm like, no. If this is our goal and we want to be where we want to be with Bon Dia con Pinky and the Bougie Tias, I'm starting to learn that just put myself out there. And, you know, this is me.
This is us.
This is us, and this is our body. This is how we look. This is how we were born. And whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, move on.
Yeah. You can find your people.
That's it.
That's it.
So remember, you are loved.
Yes.
You are beautiful. You are enough. We love you guys.
Yeah. Hopefully this serves as motivation, inspiration, support. Because we all been through things, and we all try to find support somewhere. Hopefully this serves as a safe space for you to feel supported. And the quote that we started the episode, I'm going to read it again because it's so great. Whatever you decide to do in life, make sure it makes you happy. So if it doesn't make you happy, that's a clear indication that we need to look at that and change it. So yeah.
That's it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Live your life. Live your dream.
And until next episode.
Till next episode, your Bougie Tias. We love you.